I see this is, good evening everybody and welcome to Team Eagle's Monday evening Zoom chat. We're very happy that you have joined us, especially happy this evening because we have some very special guests who you will be hearing from in a little while. But first of all, as most of you know, we are Mick and Jenny Daly, National Marketing Directors in your support line in this beautiful state of Colorado, this crazy state of we were literally outside in shorts and t-shirts topping up our suntan from Costa Rica about 3 days ago, and today we're above 5 degrees. In fact, it was so cold and windy that Michelle and Brian didn't even manage to go skiing today, so crazy. But anyway, moving right along because I don't want to take up too much time, but as always, we have a lot of new joining Team Eagle. I'm going to go ahead and welcome everybody to the team. So a very warm welcome to Jose Aparicio in California, sponsored by Grace Sota, to Krista Hilliard in Texas, sponsored by Anna Morera, Craig Travis in Missouri, sponsored by Cindy Tillman, Callie Lathrop in Arizona, sponsored by Nicole Helmstetler, Diana Ditches and Carrie Biag both in Texas and both sponsored by Cheryl Lawrence, Danny Texas, sponsored by Mandy Dickey, Zoe Martin in Arizona, sponsored by Michelle Lacey, Jennifer Fay in Texas, sponsored by Dorothy Scrutchin, Matisha Mattern in North Carolina, sponsored by Denise Feigem, Betsy Richmond in Texas, sponsored by Jennifer Fay, Mark Kerpiel in Texas, sponsored by Carrie Berg, Kathy Venable in Texas, sponsored by Denise Feigem, Laura Williams in Arizona, sponsored by Sarah Wall, and last but definitely by no means least, Candy Gottschalk in Texas, sponsored by Betsy Richmond. My goodness me, Team Eagles is growing, and it's growing across the country. We are so excited to have all you guys join our team, and we look forward to meeting many of you. I know some of you already have made plans to join us in Anaheim next month at our Juice Plus live event there. Not too early to start making plans if you don't already have your ticket or your friends. Okay, moving right along, we have 5 healthy living plan to congratulate, and the Weidemann, sponsored by Mandy Dickey, Callie Lathrop, sponsored by Nicole Helmstetler. You'll recognize some of these names because they're very new. Juliana Zangari, sponsored by Amanda Schneider, Kathy Venable, sponsored by Denise Feigem, and Rain Christensen, sponsored by Blue Russ. So congratulations, you folks. A great way to kick off your Juice Plus business, but don't stop there. Your next goal is, of course, the 2,000 plus. You will receive a $1 bonus if you haven't already received it. It's $250 on the table for the next step, together with promotion to the franchise and also that free conference ticket, which is worth $100. So go for it. We also have a promotion to sales coordinator. That's congratulations, Sarah Wall in Arizona, sponsored by Blue Russ. Amanda Schneider's team is definitely growing out there.
I have to jump in, Jenny, and tell you that your list is incomplete because Blue Russ herself also was just promoted to sales coordinator.
Wow. Awesome. Congratulations, Blue. My goodness me. Things are definitely moving. Well done. Okay, then first-time qualifiers. First time that they have qualified their business, that means 1,000 points. Have to be a VA hire to do that, and you get the extra 5% in commissions. They are Nicole Baker and Janelle Erickson. So congratulations, both of you. And then another step up from there is to be customer qualified, which means that those 1,000 points come specifically from your customer. You can qualify your business with your own orders, your customers' orders, your dealers, and your direct distributors. But when those points come just from your customers, they are customer qualified, and that would be Dr. Amy Hebert. So congratulations, Dr. Amy. Awesome job. Okay, that's it from me. Nick, over to you.
Okay, thanks. So while we're doing recognition, let's recognize the leaderboard in our contest for February. And that looks like this. So congratulations to everyone named. Unfortunately, Nicole Hemstetter, who won the $100, winning the contest last month, couldn't be with us tonight. She's tied up with another very important Monday night commitment. But I have to give Nicole special kudos because not only did she win last month, not only did she win with 7 new orders, with 1 new rep that she personally sponsored, and helping one of her team complete their HLP, which is where her points came. But by my count, it is the 5th time that Nicole Helmstead has won a contest during 1 month. And that is one of the reasons that Nicole's business is growing apace, and she's on track for Senior Sales Coordinator very soon. So well done, Nicole, and well done to Nicole's team, several of whom are listed there, who to Nicole's success. So let me stop that and tell you that we're delighted to have not just our house guests with us again, but to tell you that we can't announce the exciting news. But we can say that we believe that it's only a matter of hours before Michelle gets the call. So I'm going to say that any time now, Michelle Barnett will get the call telling the world, after telling Michelle, that she has made the 13-9 club. So everybody give Michelle a big hand. A little bit premature, but Michelle, can you unmute yourself so we can hear you? Michelle is there. Brian is with her. Michelle, I want you to tell us your product story first, and Brian can chip in as well to correct you when you... Just kidding. They're a great team. We look at them as the team that Jenny and I could have been if we'd only started this business when we were as young as Michelle and Brian. Michelle, share your product story because it's a very, very strong one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hi, everyone. Thanks for having us. We're super excited. Thanks, Mick and Jenny, for hosting us in your home and letting us be your guests of honor. And we're just grateful to be here. And I'll share my story, and then you can kind of share a little bit about yours. So I started Juice Plus 7 years ago. And at the time, I was a young, busy professional. I was living in Chicago, and I was really active. I'd always focused on fitness, and I thought I was super healthy. And when I heard about Juice Plus, it made sense to me because it was just fruits and vegetables. And I knew at the time that I wasn't eating a lot of raw fruits and vegetables. I would buy them because I knew they were good, and they would sit in my fridge and they would go bad, and then I would throw them out. And I would do that over and over again. And I was eating out a lot, and I was just not cooking, and so getting more fruits and vegetables seemed like a good idea. I was grateful that Juice Plus wasn't a multivitamin. I had tried vitamins in the past, but I'd never seen any changes from multivitamins. So it was really great for me that I could read the label and it was just fruits and vegetables. At the time, I thought I was really healthy, but I actually had chronic back pain. I was seeing a chiropractor 3 times a week. I had chronic knee pain. I'd already had 4 knee surgeries. I was on Celebrex, which is a harsh anti-inflammatory drug. I was on 1,600 milligrams of ibuprofen. I had chronic acne as an adult, and just low energy. I was drinking diet sodas about 3 times a day, which now I know isn't very good for you. But so that's kind of where I was. And I honestly had no expectations Juice Plus would do anything for any of those things. I wasn't looking at it as a cure or as a solution. It was really bridging the gap for me. But over the course of my first year, several things happened. I was able to completely stop drinking diet sodas because I had energy consistently throughout the day. I felt better, which was huge. I actually remember quitting at my first Juice Plus conference because it was just, it made sense that that's not something I should be putting in my body at that point. I had my acne that I'd struggled with when I was in high school and in college was finally healing and going away. My scarring was reduced. And as a girl, I was vain, and that made a lot of sense to me. I was like, what is happening? I want to know what's in these capsules because my skin looks better than it ever has. And I'd been to dermatologists. I'd done Accutane. I'd done all these outward things, but I never focused on what was going inside to change my skin. And now I know our skin cells are new every month pretty much. And so that all makes sense. But one of the biggest changes was about 3 months into Juice Plus. I had a major knee surgery, had a cartilage transplant, and the doctors basically said I would never run again. Couldn't have a lot of weight-bearing activity. I wouldn't be able to resume my active lifestyle, and this was crushing to me. And I'm really stubborn, and I just don't want to believe always what people say, so I had to go find out for myself. And I started reading and researching everything about holistic ways to heal your body. And that's when I found the research on Juice Plus. And I realized I was already doing something that was amazing for my health and amazing for my healing. And I found the research that Juice Plus reduces inflammation. It helps increase blood flow. It helps with swelling, healing after surgery. And I knew I was on the right path. So I started doubling up on the Vineyard blend, continuing to take the Orchard Garden and doubling up on the Vineyard. And within 9 months of my surgery, I was hiking Pikes Peak in Colorado, which is a half marathon straight up. I had gotten off of my Celebrex prescription. I'd gotten off ibuprofen. I also had chronic allergies pretty much my whole life. I'd been using Zyrtec and Claritin, and about maybe a year to 2 years into taking Juice Plus, I no longer need those, maybe 1 or 2 days a year. And so it's just been really cool what happens when you start putting something in your body consistently. And my favorite part is all those things are great, and I've seen a lot of healing in my body, but I now eat more fruits and vegetables. I now love fruits and vegetables. They're my main parts of my meal. And so it's really made me a healthier person and made me crave healthier things. So it's just been a really cool 7 years. And I always tell people that, your story with Juice Plus just continues to grow. It's not going to just be what happens your first 4 months or your first year. My story has continued to grow over time, and it's been cool just to continue. I'm always like, I wonder what's going to happen this year. I wonder what's going to do for me this year, because it's compounding. You put it in daily, and you're going to continue to reap good benefits. I'll let Brian show.
I've got to jump in before Brian says anything and say, I can attest that Michelle's complexion is beautiful.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Brian. And Brian's isn't too bad either.
So, if you don't already know, love can make you do crazy things, right? So, Michelle introduced Juice Plus to me. I was courting her. We lived in Austin, Texas, and I discovered that sometimes health is by comparison. Like my view of what healthy is can be different from my neighbors, and I might gather what healthy means because I see the people around me and just kind of make that assessment myself. So I thought I was pretty healthy, and one of the first times Michelle and I went out, we went to this seafood place for fish tacos, and she tells me that she doesn't really eat animals. And I thought, right then, that was blowing my mind. And of course, she later, told me about Juice Plus, and I committed to taking it because I was planning to propose to her and marry her. So yeah, now, I still wanted to do all the research, so I read all those research studies just because that satisfied my brain, even though my heart was already on board. Mm-hmm. So I started as a customer, and I was off in the world doing mission trips for about a year, and I came back, and Michelle said, well, instead of going back to I was working for the government, she said, instead of going back to your 8 to 5, why don't you just join me in this mission with Juice Plus? And I said, honestly, it sounds pretty cool to work for yourself and make your own schedule and do all these things and get healthier for yourself and inspire other people to incorporate easy, simple changes, to make their own lives healthier. So that's exactly what I did, and I've been on board it's been about 4 years for my journey with Michelle and Juice
Do you have
Plus.
any help changes in Michelle?
And I would say, now, I always preface it like, Juice Plus, we don't say it cures anything, but fruits and vegetables will work miracles sometimes. And I used to get tonsillitis every year without fail, sometimes twice a year. And I asked my doctor about it, and he said, well, if you're not getting it like 3 to 5 times a year, just keep your tonsils, just deal with it. So I said, okay, I'll come see you next time I get it. And I had noticed it took about a year, 2 years after I was taking Juice Plus and making the other healthier changes that Michelle advised me to make. I haven't had tonsillitis since then, which is pretty awesome.
5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So Brian already mentioned his journey before coming on board to share the mission with you, Michelle. So tell us what led you to jump over the fence and go from being a really satisfied customer, raving fan customer, into a Juice Plus rep. And go on and explain how your experience with healthy eating led you to become more than a health nut.
Sure. So I had been on Juice Plus for maybe, it was within my first 6 months, I realized the need to be a distributor. And it wasn't because I wanted a second job. It wasn't because I needed money or wanted a business. It was simply because I wanted my family to get healthy, and I wanted my mom, my dad, and my grandma. Those are my 3 people. I wanted my mom, my dad, and my grandma to be on Juice Plus because I knew they weren't eating a lot of fruits and vegetables that weren't fried or cooked in butter or, just they're from Oklahoma, it's just not the healthiest eaters that I grew up with. And so I wanted them to be on it. And when I shared with my sponsor, like, hey, I want my mom and dad and grandma to take it, he said, why don't you become a distributor so that you can be their contact and you can be the one holding them accountable, checking in on them. And to me, that made a lot of sense. And then, oh, by the way, you can kind of offset your cost. And so that's really where I got started. And they were on board. I kind of twisted my dad's arm a little, but they were on board. And, the more I started seeing changes in them, I wanted to share with other people. And my first 2 months in the business, I did fast track to VF. And I just got a lot of joy out of sharing it with people. It's still at the time, it was more of a hobby. I saw it as like always loved traveling. So it was kind of like my travel money. It would be a couple $100s to take a flight here or to fly to visit a college friend, or that's really what I saw it as. And then I hit a point where I had my knee surgery, and that recovery kind of took me off course for a little bit. And I really kind of put my business on the shelf for a while and focus on healing my body. And, I don't recommend that ever, obviously, because this business is so amazing, but I didn't know. And if you don't know, you can't do better. And so I put it on the shelf. But what I noticed during the couple of months I did that, I was still getting a check, and I was just a VF. I was still getting a check. And I like, wow, these people are still paying me and I'm doing nothing right now. I'm just like laid up with a brace on my leg and I'm getting a check, and this is amazing. And so it made me start asking more questions. And then I moved to Austin, Texas, and I quit my job in Chicago. And I had gone to my first conference, and I saw what was possible. And I saw the NMDs up there, and I saw that they were living the lives that they wanted. They were creating the lives that they dreamed about, and doing things, that I never thought possible. And Mick and Jenny are a perfect example. They had RV'd full time, and I'd never known anyone who lived on vacation. That's what I call it, living on vacation. And I'd never seen that before. And so it really just blew my mind. I was like, whoa, like this is possible. I just thought you go to college and you get a job and you work 9 to 5 and you hate, Mondays, and you look forward to Fridays. And that was my life. And so when I saw this bigger picture, I wanted that. So I quit my job in Chicago. I moved to Texas, Austin, and instead of getting a full-time job, I got a part-time job on purpose because I wanted to build my business. I wanted to work part-time to pay the bills and part-time on my dreams. And within 2 years, I was working full-time with Juice Plus. And by my 5-year in the business mark, I made NMD, but it was really, 3.5 to 4 years of actually working, the business. So, it's that my why was really progressive. It changed over time.
I've got to ask you, based on what Brian said, if he had refused to take Juice Plus seriously, would you have said yes?
I still would have said yes, but I would have had a task on my hands of convincing him over the next several years that he was going to eat it, or finding a way to sneak it in. One of the two.
Yeah, you would.
I don't give up easily.
No, you don't. So here's a question. How would you compare your path to NMD from the time you decided to take this seriously to get to NMD? How would you compare that with going from NMD to 39 Club, because you're that close?
There's learning curves in both. I think that, when you're trying to make NMD, you have your mindset on a goal, and that there's these milestones that you want to make to get there. And so I think honestly, I think it was easier to get to NMD because I had really like a set path and set direction. But when I made NMD, going for 24 Club, 39 Club, I didn't have a lot of precedence in my upline directly, for me to watch and mimic and see, what do you do to get to 24 Club? What do you do to get to 29 Club? And so it was harder for me because I really had to become a leader in my own right and really kind of pave that course. And I fumbled along the way, and, just kind of made it up as I go, and really tapped into other mentors and other people in the business that are doing it alongside me, that are doing it ahead of me. But I think that, when you're on your way to NMD, you really have a step-by-step process, and you have the guidelines from corporate that say, this is exactly what you do. So I think they're both have different challenges, but they're both just a test of perseverance and tenacity and willingness that if one thing's not working, you're going to go and find a different way to make it work, or a different solution, or a different person, to get to the end goal.
That's great. That really helps, I think, a lot of us to get a feel for what it looks like. When we were talking last night, you told us about how Facebook had played a big role, I think, both getting you to NMD and to 39 Club. And you talked about your friend up in Booker, Texas. Why don't you tell us that story? Because the background there is that Michelle, because she's a bit of a health nut, and she became a health coach, and that's now her passion. She's attracted a lot of people like herself to her business, but she has probably at least an equal number of people doing very well who are not health coaches. And your friend in Booker is the example, right? Yes. So how did that come about?
Yeah, I meant to say something about that. I am a health coach, and I have health coaches on my team, but, being a health coach isn't as duplicatable as just being a regular person, I did it mostly because I'm interested in it, passionate about it. I could have still made an MD and 39 Club without being it. Absolutely. I mean, there's people all around me that are doing it right now. But Trisha is my teammate in Booker, Texas, and she's just rocketing to senior sales coordinator. She will make it this month, and that will be about 10 months in the business. She'll be a senior sales coordinator. And it's so funny because I only knew her for 1 year growing up. It was 4th grade. I was best friends with her sister, and she was the older sister. So I didn't know her as well, but I was best friends with her sister for that 1 year. Then we moved away, and I stayed in touch with her sister. And then a couple years ago, Trisha and I connected on Facebook, and for about probably a year, 6 months to a year, I just noticed she kept liking my posts, like my Juice Plus posts, my healthy living posts, my any kind of post. She just liked all my posts and was like, this girl's liking all my posts. Like, I need to find out what she's doing and what her life is like now, and maybe she'll like Juice Plus if she's liking all my posts. And so I just sent her a simple message saying, hey Trisha, I haven't heard, how in the world are you? I haven't talked to you in forever. Like, what's your life been like? What are you doing? And then I got to ask her, like, I saw you've been liking my posts about healthy living and Juice Plus. Like, are you on a health journey too? And then we started talking, and she was on a health journey. She had lost like 20-something pounds on her own through just like diet modification and reducing serving sizes and things like that. And, I got to share Juice Plus with her. And at first she said it was too expensive. And I was like, well, I have a solution for that. I shared the business with her, and she, I think she just really had seen my stuff on Facebook for such a long time that she just trusted me because she had watched me, and she said, okay, if you think that I can do this and you think I can share. And she actually, I had her do a Facebook party before she even ordered her own product. And by the end of her Facebook party, she already had a couple orders. So she ordered with her, and she got her HLP right then. And pretty much ever since then, she is so coachable. And I always tell her her biggest asset is that she's really coachable. I don't even know if she went to college. She runs a home daycare in her house, and she has 5 or 6 little kids at her house. And so it's not like she's just sitting at home, can do things whenever she wants. She's super busy. She has 3 kids of her own. And, but she's coachable. And every time I say, Trisha, this is what you need to do next, or this is, even if it's outside of her comfort zone, she might push back a little bit, but she's always like, I really want to do what you're asking me because I know that it's going to get me to where I want to be. And she wants to quit having the home daycare within 18 months. She wants to quit doing that and be able to support her family. And eventually her husband's in oil and gas, which is really, up and down. And she wants to be able to replace both their income so that he can do something else that's, or whatever he wants to do that's not so, scary or, nerve-wracking all the time. And so it's just been a joy to watch. And she has no health background. She's just done the shred, and she's had great results with the shred, and she shares on Facebook.
And Booker, Texas is not a huge metropolis, right?
Oh my gosh, I just went there. They have tumbleweeds, like real tumbleweeds. Like I took a picture with one. It was like, where am I? They were like huge tumbleweeds. And it's like this tiny, the population was like 1,516 people. So it's like there's more cows than people probably, and definitely more tumbleweeds.
I love stories like that because that says to those of us who want to make excuses, forget the excuses. Just get on and do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you connected with her on Facebook. Brian, tell us what you shared with us last night about you and your friends on Facebook and how they've been watching Michelle's posts through you.
So Michelle is more active on Facebook, and she tags me. And I mean, since we do live together 24 hours a day, and we work this business together, I get tagged in everything. And I have friends from years ago, people that I went to high school with, I haven't talked to in more than 10 years. But Facebook is such a unique platform. These people have been watching my Facebook, and I haven't talked to them. I didn't know they were watching, and they'll just all of a sudden reach out, either send me a message. Most of the time they'll send Michelle a message because, for whatever reason, I haven't figured that part out yet. But yeah, these people I haven't talked to in 10 years will just send a message and say, hey, I see you've got this healthy living thing. I got to ask you some questions about this and that because it's pretty awesome. It's just out of the blue, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's like, I'm always like, who's this person? It says that you're the mutual friend. He's like, I think I went to high school with them. So it's been really cool.
And so the result of that, Brian, is you started building your own little team. Well, not little team, but...
Yeah. He has his own team working there in East Texas that we're growing, which is really exciting.
Fast approaching senior sales coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Yoo-hoo! There you go. Not such a little team. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about Facebook. You, in your story about your friend in Booker, you mentioned that you approached her because she was liking a lot of your posts. Mm-hmm. Isn't that one of the keys, to be watching who's liking and then to follow up with them just like you did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think that, you just follow up with the people that comment or ask. But if people are liking your stuff, they're supporting you, they may not be interested. They may just be doing it to support you, but you never know until you ask. And so simply, I usually don't just go and say, hey, do you want to learn? Do you want to learn more about Juice Plus? I just say, hey, I saw you like my posts about my healthy living changes, or I saw you like my posts about my smoothies. Like, are you on a health journey too? Do you make smoothies too? What kind do you make? what do you like putting in them? Or, what kind of workouts are you doing? That's awesome. And I just start to engage them in a healthy living conversation. And then it comes around, I bring it around to Juice Plus after I've built rapport. Because some of these people, sometimes, I see people that like my stuff and I'm like, I didn't even know we were Facebook friends. It's just, there's so many, that you collect over the years. And so sometimes you need to build that little buffer of get to know them a little bit before you just say, do you want to buy a Juice Plus?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then the Shred 10, you told us that's been working really, really well for you.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so effective?
I think that people feel better sometimes. Number one, everyone's on a health journey of some sort. The number one driver for health decisions is weight loss, whether we like it or not, even though we don't have a weight loss product or program. That's the motivation. And so when people know that they can make some lifestyle changes in addition to Juice Plus, they're excited about that. They're looking for a plan. People are looking for a program or a plan and a group, a community to do it with. And I know we have our customer support pages, but this just gives them a more intimate group to be like, hey, I'm on a health journey. Hey, you're on a health journey. Awesome. Let's share recipes. Let's swap ideas. And there's some synergy that happens when people are on a dedicated, defined period of time journey together that doesn't happen as much in a bigger, ongoing, forever group.
And with the Shred 10 program, that is, you told us last night, it's been kind of a replacement for you as a health coach for the program that you used to promote and use to coach people.
Yeah.
That speaks to me. That says, because you put a lot of personal investment into creating your own nourishment program that you and some of your team members used to coach people, but now Shred 10 has completely replaced that.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's like when I started nourishment and health coaching, Juice Plus didn't have any programs. And I recognized this need before the bigger Juice Plus community did. I'm sure other people did their own little things too. That's why we had all these little programs. But now that we have something that's backed by corporate and something that is a shorter time frame, all the programs I was doing were 4 weeks, 6 weeks, longer programs. And I think there's so much genius in doing a short program and that gets results. And a lot of the guidelines were the same as some of the health coaching I was doing. And so if I can get someone to see results in 10 days versus 4 weeks, they're going to be so much more excited. And who says they can't do a 30-day program? They do the Shred 3 times, right? And so they feel that sense of accomplishment after 10 days versus people trying to do a 4-week or a 6-week and falling off the wagon and then feeling sad. They're feeling bad instead of good, which was the whole point of doing the program, is to make them feel good about themselves and have an accomplishment. And so the 10-day format made sense to me. The fact that I don't have to create all the materials made a lot of sense to me. And the fact that I can just plug and play, and all my people like Trisha and other people who don't want to go out and get a health certification can coach and support and cheer on their friends and do it with them.
Yep. Powerful program. Okay, question is talk about finishing strong, because your upline and our upline, Kurt Beavers, really pushes this a lot. And finish strong applies to the business months. It implies to finishing your big four, the next promotion, whether that's the 2,000 plus, senior sales coordinator, NMD, or 13. Talk about finishing strong, and what did that look like for you over this past 10 days?
Well, really, finishing strong for me was the last 4 days before qualifiers day, and then really all of February, because we have an upward mobility program with the NMD program where you have X number of months to make certain goals. And I was at the end of my months to make certain goals. And so for me, it was just sitting out at the beginning of the month saying, we're doing this. Who's on board, going to all of my team, finding out who was ready to run with me. And if someone wasn't, I go find someone else. And practically speaking, it looked like me driving 1,000 miles around Texas in Oklahoma in 5 days, doing back-to-back salad parties and one-on-one meetings and signing up so many more teammates, helping teammates reach 2,000 plus, helping teammates qualify, and then coming back to East Texas and, really focusing and for 3 days, getting up early before, most people get up and working and staying up late longer than most people stay up. And I was tired but it's worth it. I was like, I can do anything for 3 days. I mean, I can push for 3 days or for a month, for the shortest month. February is the shortest month. So I was like, I picked a good month to push. It's the shortest one. And, I could do it. And, the prize, it's like where the Bible talks about, like, run to win the prize. And that's the mentality I really had this month, was I'm running to win the prize. I don't want to fall short, like 36 qualifiers or 38 or 37. I've got to run all the way and find the people. And if people aren't willing, then go find other people, because there's going to be people that are excited and want to support you, because as a leader, you're supporting them. When you reach your goals, your team is reaching theirs. And our team had our best month ever this month. And so it was just a little, what I call grit and tenacity is what it takes when you're trying to finish strong.
And that's the message I want us all to take to heart, that's what it takes at every level, at every stage.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the part where you reached out to your team and said, who's running this with me? Who's in this with me? And that's absolutely necessary. And it's a blessing to them to be able to say, yes, I'm on board.
Mm-hmm.
I want to help you, because as I'm helping you, I'm helping myself.
Yeah.
As I'm working for my business, I'm helping your business.
Mm-hmm.
So it truly is one team, one mission.
Yeah, and there were a few people that couldn't do it this month that, for some unforeseen circumstances, they couldn't be that person I needed them to be. And that's okay. I was able to say, you're a blessing whether you do a little or a lot. And, I'm grateful for you. And when you build a big enough team and you just go talk to more people, you don't have to pressure people to be that person, which has been really awesome.
All right, Michelle and Brian, thank you so much for being my house guests again. You promised next to come for much longer. And thanks for being willing to work when you should be kicking back and relaxing.
This isn't work.
And if I could add something, I love your phrase when you ask your team whether they're coming on board with you, because of course the last 2 years you've been driving all over the country, right, in a motorhome. Mm-hmm. You're asking how many are coming on board with you?
Yes, come on board. Just pile up in the motorhome. The more the merrier.
Absolutely. The financial side of this business is great, but the freedom that it gives us as well is priceless.
Absolutely. That was totally the driver.
All right, you two. All right. It's time to dismiss you and say go and relax. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We hope that if you couldn't join us, you've enjoyed listening and watching this recording. And once again, Michelle and Brian, you're an inspiration. We love having you as friends, despite the age gap, and long may it continue. So God bless everybody. Have a great Juice Plus week. You know where we are, and we'll talk to you really soon.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.